Hello, this is Lucas, and in this video we'll go over how we can create a constructor using a set of fields that we have set out. So in the last video we went over classes, in the last two videos we went over classes, so we're going to continue on with classes. So I have a new class here called person.java, and the class is person. So we're going to create ourselves an object from a set of fields that we set. So let's say that we want to set ourselves a person. So we want to pass in a couple of fields. So we're going to write ourselves private. Now you don't have to worry what private means at the moment, but we're just going to set a few variables here. So we have private, and we're going to do string. Then we're going to pass in. So we'll do first name. Then we'll do the same thing again. We'll do private string last name. Then we'll also do, we'll do private int age, and then lastly we'll do private string, and we'll do occupation. Okay, occupation. So here we have our 4 fields that we want to set to a person. So the next thing we have to do is we have to create a constructor using these set of fields here. So to create a constructor, we're going to create ourselves a new method that's going to be the exact same name as our class here. So we'll do public, and then we'll name it person, so it's the same name as our class person. And then we'll pass in a few parameters. These parameters are going to be 4 of these. So we're going to have to pass in string first name, because that's the very first one. Then we'll have to pass in the second one, third one, and then finally we'll pass in the fourth one. So then we'll do string last name, and it's int age, and then finally we'll do string occupation, and then we can just open and close. Here we have our constructor. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use a new keyword that we haven't used before, and that's called this. And then I'm going to write out this first, and then I'll quickly explain it. So we're going to do this, and then you see we have 4 options. Now these 4 options are the 4 fields that we have created. So we'll just do this dot first name is equal to first name, and we'll do this for all of them. So we'll do this dot last name is equal to last name. Then we'll do this dot age, and that's going to be equal to age. And then finally we'll do this dot occupation is equal to occupation. Now what we're doing here is basically this dot first name references this field here, and whenever we pass in a name, it's going to be stored in here. Then the same thing again, whenever we pass in a last name, we're going to set the last name that we have passed in as last name, and this just means it's in this class, so it's going to be this one here. And the same thing for age and occupation. So we can quickly create ourselves the object now. So we're going to reference the name of our class, so person. So we're going to do person, and we can just name it person 1. We can name this anything, and then we just do new person. And now if we just leave like this, you can see we do get an error, because we do need to pass in the arguments, because now instead of us actually calling the class, we're actually calling this method here, unlike we did in the last couple of videos. So now we actually have to pass in these parameters here. So we can look at the very first one. The first one that we have to pass in is a string. It's the first name. So we can pass it in. We can do something like Peter. Now if you look at the second one, it's the last name that we have to pass in. So we have to pass in his second name. We'll just pass in Donald. Then we have to pass in the age. So we'll just say he's 23. And then finally we have to pass in his occupation. So we'll just say he's an engineer. Now you can see we get no errors, because we have passed in the 4 parameters that we needed here. And now this person here, person 1, these are the details of this person here. But if we want to print out anything, we won't be able to do it now because all of these are private, right? So only this class can access it. So this class can't access it directly. So we need a way to allow this class to access it. So if we try just to print out person 1, you can see we do get person, but then we just get a lot of random numbers. We can try to do toString. It's going to be the exact same, toString. So we need a way to display this information, but we can't do it in this class. We have to do it in this class because we have set these as private, so we won't be able to do that. So I'm going to remove this print statement at the moment, and we're going to go back to this class here. So we need a way just to print all these out, and we can do that very easily. We can just create ourselves. We'll just do public, and then we'll return a string, and then we'll just name this toString. And all we're going to do here is we're going to return this person here, these values for here. So what we'll do is we'll write person firstly. So we have person, and we'll pass in the values in here. So we'll do first name, and then we'll just do equal to. Actually, just to make it easier, we're just going to do this. We're going to do first name equals to, and then we're going to pass in the first name, which is this one here, first name. And we're going to do this for all of them. So we're going to create ourselves a second one. Then we're going to do last name. Firstly, I'm just going to make this look a bit better. We're just going to do this. Then we have last name. We're going to equal this to the last name, which is this one here. Then we're going to do the exact same thing again. We're going to do age this time. Okay, and equal that to, and we're just going to pass in age. And move on to the next line. Age, and then after age, we need to do a comma here, and then we'll do occupation. Occupation, you're going to equal that to, and then we just pass in occupation. So now here, all we're doing is we're just printing out all the values. So if we go back into this, we can now print this out. So we reference person 1 again, and we do dot toString. But now instead of turning this into a toString, what this is going to do is it's going to call this method here that we have created. Now if I run this, you can see we get printed out the person plus all of the values now that we have access to. As you can see, we have the first name Peter, Donald, age, and engineer. So that's the only way that we can actually access these details. There are other ways that we can use getters and setters, but that will be for the next video. So I hope you enjoyed, hope this helped, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.